Welcome to you both. And Chris, I'll start with you. So what are the implications, especially for our investors here?
Well, we're setting up sort of a real witch's brew of not only headline risk, but meaningful tail risk through the summer and into the fall. Not only do you have a very tight governing majority in the House, you now have given control of the House via the Rules Committee to the most hardline members of that caucus. You have the debt ceiling sometime late summer, early fall. You have a shutdown fight on October 1. So you have a number of cross currents that have really only been made more challenging by the changes to the rules and the Rules Committee.
So, Sarah, and explain this how you see it, as a positive, as a negative. What do you think investors should know here?
So I think there's a group of conservative Main Street members that are absolutely not going to shut down the government, and they will increase the debt ceiling in this country. They are not going to do that. Some of the other changes they do support, but those two things, I'm not concerned about and getting those two things passed. They will work with anyone they can not to shut down the federal government. That never works for Republicans. We've been there. We've done that.
Right.
And it always backfires on us. So I'm not really overly concerned about that.
Well, that's why when you say that, I go, well, I don't know. We've seen this before. And everyone goes, no, we wouldn't do that. It would be, and yet it happens time and again. Why do you think this time will be different?
Because we've learned from our mistakes last time, frankly. We always get blamed for it, and it's really a no-win situation. We reopen the government, everybody gets back pay. It just the members of the Republican Main Street Partnership just don't want to do that. Yeah. And you play with the credit of this country, which we can't be doing that, especially, in a recession time, potentially. With inflation so high, it's just not going to be something that the members of Main Street are going to do.
I know government workers, Chris, who love it because they get to sit at home for a couple of weeks. I think by law they can't work, they can't touch it, and then they get all their back pay once it reopens. So, Chris, you've heard Sarah's argument here. Do you believe it? And if so, perhaps there's not as much risk as we might think.
I mean, I'd like to think there won't be, but I think you're already seeing it. You'll see it begin probably in the spring when those budgets come out. Speaker McCarthy promised a vote on a balanced budget amendment that would balance the budget over 10 years. That would set up an approximate 10% cut to defense, approximately $75 billion. We see very little chance of that passing into law. But you're already seeing what Elon mentioned earlier. The battle lines are being drawn. The most vocal hardliners are in the commanding heights of the incoming Republican House majority. So it's not just a debt ceiling issue, it's a shutdown fight, and it's likely to consume the remainder of the Congress through the summer and into the fall.
Sarah, especially as we hear reports that President Biden is planning to run for re-election, what would be the constructive vision that the Republicans might have now through the results of this speakership to say, okay, this is not just going to be about shutting things down. This is not just going to be about, playing with the debt and all the rest of it. What is it going to be about then?
Well, for us, I realize it becomes a political issue, but it really is an issue for the American people. And the Republican Main Street Partnership members live in these swing districts, and they're not going to do it again. I mean, they're really not going to shut down the government. They're going to increase the debt ceiling. They're not going to be willing to play with the economy in this country and with our debts and with our credit rating. They won't do that. I know it's fun to talk about it and, okay, they're going to do this, do that. I really don't think you're going to see that happen. As I said earlier, we have learned from the last time we've done this, and it never works well for Republicans. And I think if we did it, would only give Joe Biden, frankly, a victory going into his reelection.
Right. So final question, Sarah, what other than not doing that is the mandate you think that they now have been handed? What is it? What is it that you think investors need to be watching for in terms of what they would like to do in some of these positions and with some of these new rules?
I think you will see some budget cuts, maybe not in defense. One of our members, Ken Calvert, is going to be the appropriator who's in charge of that. But you are going to see what's wrong with trying to balance the budget in this country. Certainly we did it many years ago with Bill Clinton, and we had great success. So I think you're going to see some discussions around that. I'm actually pretty excited about where the Republican conference is going. I know it was a rough start that played out in national TV 15 times, but we're pretty excited about where we are and where we're going in the future.
Chris, hearing that, I'll give you a final word. Does that make you more or less nervous?